Hello friends, welcome to the series of lectures on digital marketing and e-commerce. I am Dr. Suchita Vishwakarma, Assistant Professor with Department of Management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. And today in this particular lecture of ours, we will be discussing about online SEO techniques, indexing and keyword placement. Students, you might be remembering that in all our previous lectures we have discussed about the digital marketing concepts, and in the last few classes of mine I had also illustrated about search engine optimization. Now at this stage I feel that you are very well adapted and comfortable with the concept of search engine optimization, and you very well know the importance of search engine optimization for any company to increase the traffic and to increase the searchability of their website. We had learned that there may be companies who there are various companies who are uploading various kinds of web pages on the www, that is World Wide Web, but all of them do not get searched or do not come in the top ranking, and so that does not leads to proper digital marketing productive outcome that they are expecting. So, any company who wants to actually want to have a efficient digital marketing marketing campaign, then for them it is very important to optimize their web pages, their content, whatever it is. It may be in form of picture, website, blog or anything as such. So, now at this juncture we would like to also discuss that how and what are the different ways through which search engine optimization can be improved, and what are the techniques that any individual or organization must remember and take care when they are actually wanting to enhance the searchability. So, let us get ahead with it. Now, just refreshing you once again with the concept of search engine optimization, SEO, which we normally call SEO or search engine optimization, is the same thing, which is basically a practice of increasing the quality and the quantity of the traffic that we are receiving. That means, any organization obviously wants to increase the traffic of the visitors, and those who are those who would visit only from them only there would be few percentage of people who would be come out as a prospect, and then obviously the lead conversion and the profitability will increase. So, the basic aim of any organization is to improve the traffic. This is the first step which any organization must take care. So, for improving the traffic there are two techniques: on-page SEO techniques and off-page SEO techniques. We will be discussing all of them one by one. In this particular lecture of mine, we would be talking about SEO techniques, on-page SEO techniques. In the next lecture, we will be obviously talking about the off-page SEO techniques also. So, let us understand what is on-page SEO techniques. It can be basically understood as the all those activities or practices that needs to be adopted within the website, within the page itself, within the various set of pages that the website has. That means, the company who is aiming to increase the SEO must adopt certain activities, must adopt certain practices in order to within the page. That means, they should be doing certain things within the page, the website while creation of the content, while designing of the URL, while deciding the domain, while placing their pictures, while placing the videos, whatever. So, whatever things that the organization does within the website in order to increase the searchability, that is called on-page SEO technique. On-page SEO techniques is basically technically, if you want to understand, then it is both the content and HTML source code related activities. That means, while the website is being designed, the way the coding is done, or while the content is being decided and prepared, then what are the things that one should take care of. So, this is what is called on-page SEO technique. Now, over here you can see that there are various kinds of SEO techniques which an organization must take care of and try to adopt most of them in order to improve their searchability. So, coming to the first one, that is the title tag. So, title tag, as you can see, is basically can be defined as a title of any website. Now, it is very important to understand the importance of title in a website. Title is the first thing that any visitor sees, and if the particular keyword or the words or the phrases that I use in title is something which I am able to correlate to or I am able to understand, then only there is a chance of me searching the complete details of or going into inside the web page. Otherwise, there are chances that if an individual does not understands or does not feel that the title that is given is in accordance with what I am searching, then obviously I may switch to another page. For example, I have for example, over here you can see I have taken just an example. The title over here is Holiday List 2021. Now, any person who is actually looking forward to find out holidays in the Indian calendar of and who is basically wanting to know that what are the different holidays within this particular year. So, this particular title gives you a very crux, very clear cut idea that what the content could be in this particular page. But had it been something else, had it been festivals, then or had it been something else like ABC list of 2021, then probably that ABC would not have given me a clear picture that what it is talking about. Or if it would have been written, let us say festival, then I would have actually thought of that it would talk about festivals and it will not talk about the holidays, because every festival in every festival we do not get leaves or holidays. So, that is the concept that the title should be very clear. It should be unique obviously, because whenever I am searching anything like holiday list of 2021, I may get many number of pages, but the most clear, precise and simple one will obviously come in the top list. So, while deciding your tagline, your title tag, you should obviously take care of the major important keywords that should be that basically highlights the content of the website. And obviously the title the title of the complete website is obviously going to be one, but then the organization or the individual may also think of keeping subtitles also. For example, holiday list 2021, then you can give another subheading to it. That means, let us say guested holiday or non-guested or other kind of subtitles. So, this will basically give a clear picture that okay, what are the content, what is the content and how it has been segregated, and what is and any visitor will get a clear idea that under which category or which section of the website what is the content that the person will get to know about. So, this is the importance of title tag. I will just show you a small infographics which shows that the emotional titles, if any website keeps an emotional title, then the click through CTR rate is much higher in comparison to when the title tag is not emotional or when it has power words. Usually the people do not like to go on those websites which have more of power words. We human being are very emotional people, and so anything that touches to our heart more than logic, that is something that we usually search upon. So, this is the basically concept of using the emotional titles. However, I do understand, and you also must understand, that in all the cases, in all the companies, in the case of all the companies, emotional titles may not be possible. Then in such cases obviously one should take care of keeping the words in such a sequence, in such a manner, or deciding the words in such a manner that it reflects the identity of the website. Coming to the second on page technique is domain and URL. We had discussed a lot about domain in one of our lectures, and we now understand that domain is basically the name or the address of the website. So, if any company decides to keep some keywords which are related to the content of the website in the domain, then that also enhances the searchability. Usually we have seen that domain name could be 3, 4, 5 word phrase, which is added with the extension of .com, .in, .org or such like of things. So, domain name, for example, if I am wanting to know about the green organizations of India, or those organizations who are into, let us say, who are doing something environmental friendly, or I want to know about any company or companies who are basically into plantation. So, probably use of such words like plant, green in the domain name will actually help the searchability, because the crawler, we had discussed, the crawler will get to know that yes, this is the content which is related to the green concepts and is related to the environmental friendly concepts, and so the searchability will automatically get enhanced. So, over here again it is very important to understand. Then URL is also very important element of web page interface, because it is basically, it is randomized text, and we should avoid randomized text and use 3-4 words in a very wise manner. Now, proceeding further, we have keywords. Keywords are very important part of SEO techniques. This is something that we must take care, and if you avoid it, then there is very minuscule chances of getting your or achieving your search engine optimization. So, keyword is something which is basically 1 or 2 word or the most important words which are used by the customers, by the visitors, by the competitors to search a particular content, because whenever we are also going on search engine, we are putting down keywords, set of one word keyword, 2 word keyword, or even a longer keyword. So, placing those keywords within the content of the website is very important. Now, you should over here try to understand that where these keywords are to be placed and what keywords has to be used, both are equally important. The first thing is to decide that what are the keywords that we should be using, and for this we have already discussed the importance of keyword tool planners. There are various keyword tool planners will help us understand that what are the words which are mostly searched. For example, if I have to search certain things, certain websites related to clothing, so is clothing a better word, or is apparel a better word, or is textile a better word? That is something that we need to understand, because the general masses may not be using the word apparel, they would rather prefer, or the searchability for the word cloth is much more. So, companies who are basically into fabric and textile companies should be using the word cloth if they want to increase their traffic in comparison to the word apparel or textile or any other other jargon. So, now this is that an organization must understand, and the second thing that they must understand, that where should they use these keywords, and how many times obviously they should use these keywords. Should they be using keywords in the tagline, title tag? Should they be using it in the domain name? Should they be using in the content? Should they use it on every page, or should they use it how many times that is allowed? So, over here it is important to understand that only the quantity of increase, or if the same keyword is used multiple times, then that is not a good practice. We should place the keywords very strategically, that it improves the searchability. So, one should take care that the keywords are not used in unlimited or maybe very high numbers, because that is again considered as a black hat practice, and then there the search engines can again punish you or restrict you by not providing your page on the search if such things are found out. So, one should always also take care of keyword density, and keyword density should be not more than 5 to 20%, and use of the common words like the, and, of should be very much avoided in the keywords, because that will not obviously be considered as a keyword and will not enhance the searchability. Now, over here you can see that keyword rich URL correlate with higher organic CTR. That means all those websites who use keywords very strategically, who understand the importance of keyword, who understand that which keyword is important, how many times it should be used, and where it should be placed. If any organization understands this, then it will obviously lead to higher CTR. This is what we were talking about, keyword placement. Very important. Now, one should understand the difference between keyword placement and keyword stuffing. Stuffing is basically a concept where where an individual can load the complete content with the keywords. He can repeatedly use a particular keyword or the synonyms of the keyword again and again, but that is what I said, that is a black hat practice and should be avoided. However, keyword placement is basically the concept where you need to understand that strategic placement or placement of keyword on the basis of how it has been performing, how keeping the place word helps the visitor understand the content, how it has to be used, that is what is called keyword placement. So, one should remember that keyword placement is very important. Now, there are various ways in which keywords can be placed. First is use of primary keyword in the block title. We should try to keep, as I gave you the example, that if there is any company who is into an industry which or who is basically whose business is somewhat related to let us say Ayurvedic products, or let us say herbal products, or let us say green products, then probably they should be using either of the 3 keywords or some synonym of these Ayurvedic, herbal, medicinal, or whatever they are into. They should try to use some synonym or this particular word into their blog title or the content title, whatever. Then they should also try to use the these particular keywords in the title tag, that is the headlines. Use of primary keyword as bold and italics in blog post. If the content, wherever the content has been created, when it has been created, then the primary keyword, the most important word, should be used in bold and italics, so that the crawler knows that yes, this is a particular important word, and this can later be attached to schema, which we will be discussing later, so that the crawler understands the importance of that particular keyword and tries to use it in the same way as the designer has actually put it. Then the length of article or the keyword density affects the blog performance. Now, obviously, the keyword should not be long enough. If it is very long, like for example, long tail keyword are not very effective, because that again decreases because there may be chances that the visitors may not use the same phrase, same tagline, same long keyword during their search. So, long keyword basically decreases the searchability. Then blogs post permanent links should contain primary keywords. If a company is basically attaching certain blogs or attaching a video or an audio or a visual, then also the labeling should be done, and we should try to understand that the keyword would play an important role, and so it should be done in a proper manner. Use of primary keyword in the first and the last sentence, because obviously the crawler crawls through the entire content, but the first and the last sentence, the conclusion and the introduction part, is always considered to be very important in any kind of content writing. So, the use of primary keyword in these 2 areas is very helpful. And add alt or meta tags for image in blog post. That means there are various kind of tagging systems, the descriptions, the headlines, the categories, the subcategories within the website. All should at every place one should try to use these keywords, the synonyms of the keywords or the primary keywords itself, to increase the searchability. Now, the third kind of on page SEO technique is meta description. It is basically a small blurb that appears underneath your website, and that includes information about your page. So, as you can see in this particular example itself, if we try to search any page, the head, the tagline comes over here, and a small description that basically that a visitor can see and understand that what is the kind of content that this particular website would show is called as meta description. So, basically these few sentences are very important. It should completely replicate or make the visitor understand the entire content. Obviously, the difference between, say for example, this particular search related to difference between SEO and SEM. This is something that obviously will help me understand that what is the content, but if I want to see on a single click that how properly or descriptively this particular website explains the content, then that can be shortened or that can be summarized in the form of meta description. So, these are again very important words, but yes, meta descriptions and the usage of them is very dynamic, and promotional languages can also be used by companies if they are coming up with any campaign or promotions or offers. So, basically this actually helps in increasing the search. Over here I have shown you a small infographics which describes that how the websites using meta descriptions and those without meta descriptions are being searched, and you can very well see that those with meta descriptions have been searched. The CTR rate has much higher in comparison to those without a meta description. Now, the next thing is content. Content, obviously we had discussed in detail when we were discussing about blogs. We know that contents are very important, because content is something which will basically engage your visitors, and only when a visitor would get quality and unique content on your website, then only he will stay and come back again and again. Otherwise, there are chances that once he would have checked your website, but the next time there may be chances that the visitor would not come. So, content is something which is very important, and over here again it is that keyword should be used properly, it should not be stuffed. The optimum size of the content should be kept between 500 to 300 words, depends upon that what is the kind of information that you want to share. And over here categorization should be done properly, so that it is very clear, very understandable, and I mean it does not take also much time to load. So, the choice of pictures, videos, audios should also be done very strategically over here. This particular graph shows you that how the I mean the length of the content increases or decreases the CTR ratio, and over here you can see that this the position for the top positions are occupied by all those contents which are in the range of 0 to 1000 words, and the longer and those content with the longer content 5000 or 6000 words, for them the CTR is quite low. Now, the long form content generates more backlinks than shorter blog posts. Obviously, we understand that in longer content it is very much possible to add backlinks. Obviously backlink is something that we would be discussing. So, backlink is basically a concept where you try to attach the link of external websites, other websites, or even your link, or you want to create a hyperlink on particular keywords or particular words from your internal website also, from your own website also. So, it could be backlinks, could be internal, it could be external, anything. So, obviously there is there is more possibility of attaching backlinks in a longer content rather than shorter content. Now, coming to image, visuals and videos. These three are something very important, because any person first tries to understand the content if through image, visuals and videos. We usually get bored and do not like or do not prefer to read long stories. Rather, it is always eye appealing and more understanding for us if the content is backed up or if it has certain pictures. So, pictures basically not only for children, but for all individuals help more correlation with the content. So, the person who is basically wanting to have to increase the searchability must take care that he uses the images, visuals and videos, the very authentic visuals, very clearly illustrative visuals, and image files should be described, the image file should be described by a proper label or a keyword, and the alt text is also provided. That means, if in case whenever a person is trying to upload that page or download that particular page, if the picture does not come, then alternative text is provided, so that the visitor do not feels that the website is missing on certain content and probably there is a problem or so. So, the manager must take care that alternate text should also be provided. Use of right image size for increasing the performance, because if the image file is very big, then that will reduce the searchability. This is also one important concept. Over here you can see that all the websites which have videos and which are without videos, that there is a difference of bouncing rate. The bouncing rate was much lower in case of pictures with video, and it was higher in case of websites without video. 55% of the Google search results contains at least one video. This is something which has been seen through various studies. Then we have sitemaps. Sitemaps are basically you can understand them as organizers. It is a list of page, it is a kind of a hierarchical arrangement of the pages. So, once you go into any website, you can see that there are various kinds of keywords which are placed, and if you click on any of them, then the content related to that particular keyword will come and you can see. So, this basically helps the crawler and the visitor, both of them, to understand that how and what are the different contents that are displayed in the website. Then we have anchor tag. Anchor tag is basically kind of hyperlink which is attached to the content, which basically helps you understand understand and wrap up the text and image buttons, so that any person who would click into article gallery or infographics gallery will be directed exactly to the point where these illustrations are provided. Then we also need to understand the schema markup, which is basically a collaborative community activity with a mission to create and maintain and promote schemas. The concept of schema markup is basically to help the search engine and the crawler to understand the particular keyword that I am giving in the same manner. For example, this schema is basically attached to the HTML code while designing the website. For example, over here you can see in red I have written https schema.org, and say for example I write over here Suchita Vishkarma. So, the person who would be seeing it, I mean the crawler will understand the person as Suchita Vishkarma and will not treat it as any other or any random word as Suchita or Vishkarma, or will not interpret me in different ways, will understand that Suchita Vishkarma is a person and for whom we are talking about. So, this basically this schema concept helps you to make the website, the search engine and the crawler understand that what exactly you are talking about. Then we have various kinds of links. These links can be internal or external. Internal links are basically from your own website, while external links are from others' websites, other blogs, other audio or visual channels. Then we also have microsites. Microsites are basically individual web pages or a cluster of small web pages that act as a separate entity for brand. So, I have taken example of BMW over here. BMW has lot many range of cars, but for promoting their particular X series of cars, they have created a microsite. That means once you go into BMW site, there you will get a page, a microsite rather, which will open up and which will show you only X series BMW cars. So, that will basically give you an impression that this is though being a part of the brand, but still it has an independent identity. So, whenever any company wants to create an independent identity for any of their product or brand, then obviously they can use these microsites, and they are information laden and aimed at engaging a niche category of clients and helps you to connect with the brand properly. These are the various reasons why microsites should be used. When it can be used in case of launching a product, generating or targeting leads, then promotion of any event, and it is obviously creates a lot of buzz and word of mouth publicity. It is also very easy to use. So, with this I end up my today's session over here. These are the various references that you can go through to understand the on page search engine techniques, search engine optimization techniques, and with this I hope that you are trying to understand it in proper way. So, with this, thank you students.